Hello, welcome to Stringman Guitars. We have today a Mexican Stratocaster that a friend of mine has had, and they are going to be giving it to their son who wants to learn how to play guitar. This guitar has been sitting in the closet, all kind of dirt on it, gunk. It's been in a smoker's house and needs a little help, so we're going to start by measuring things. Be right back. Okay, we're going to start from the beginning here and just make some annoying noise here and get these disgusting strings off of here. It does look like it's a an 05 model, but I will have to get into the interwebs and double check to see what that actually is. But this was a guitar of a smoker, and I can smell it right now. As an ex-smoker, I am telling you that I don't like that smell. So we're going to get that cleaned up as quickly as possible. Go ahead and trim the strings. This is boring stuff, I know. But we want to get this thing right. And since it is going to be for a beginner, we're going to hardtail the bridge. Doesn't need to be a whammy bar. He doesn't need to be doing dive bombs, all that sort of thing. He just needs to learn how to do the basics, and if he wants to do the floating jump back thing, then we'll do that too. But for right now, we just want to make it play, and play like Fender says. Oh, this here, take you a quick look inside here. You see that? Come on, camera, focus. That string tree isn't even put on there, right? We're going to replace that with a roller in case he ever does want to go with the tremolo. So why don't we go with our unwinding of strings. Isn't this fun? Do this all day long. So pick up your odd ones, wind them up nice, and throw them in the garbage. And for the bridge, I'm just going to feed them back through. Lovely noises this must be making. I guess the old man decided he didn't want the problems of a back plate, so the back plate is gone, which is fine. Fingerboard is quite dry. We could certainly use some cleaning on that. A little bit of simple green, and we're going to polish the frets and tighten stuff up. I'm going to work from the neck down. I'm going to go ahead and put let's see here, I'm going to guess this is the 10mm socket. Yes, and as we would assume, all of the nuts on the tuners are loose. And all we're going to do as far as the headboard is concerned, or the headboard, the headstock is concerned is we're going to just clean it with a nice wet rag. Let's get rid of this monstrosity here. Uncle Stu's box of screws and Allen wrenches and stuff. That's a handy thing to have. We're going to get rid of this unusable string tree. Save the screw. Get rid of the twisty, wiry clip thing. And use a little bit of simple green. Get some of the smoke or goo off of that. Polyurethane finish so you don't have to worry about the junk that you spray on there doing something horrible to the finish. I think the tobacco probably has already done quite a bit of ooh, yuck. I might have to do this a few times. Anyhow, let me do that a few times and not bore you. Well, we got rid of a lot of the junk on the body. That tobacco crap was just a mess on there. So other than the scratches that are in it, the top is nice and clean. Cleaned up the pick guard. There's still some scratches on that, but what pick guard doesn't have scratches if it's 12 years old and played? So we tightened up everything on it. The switches, the switch screws were loose. The nuts on the volume tone were loose. Cleaned up the body. Next step is we're going to put some oil on the fretboard. But I think that's it for today. That's about all I could do for today. So, out of time. See you tomorrow. Thanks for checking us out. And we'll string it up. Clean up this ugly bridge. Look at that. No. That's just, that shouldn't be that way. Hopefully the kid that gets this will treat it like it's supposed to be treated. Polish the frets, oil it up, and I'll see you tomorrow. Welcome back to Stringman Guitars. We're still working on the smoker caster. Got the electronics all sorted out. The pots were dirty, as you could imagine. The switch was dirty, but a little bit of cleaner. Cleaned them up nice. Just 12 years of sitting in a smoker's closet, I guess. Also, all the nuts and washers and everything were loose and cruddy, and the output jack was loose. So we tidied that all up. So this part of it's good. If you notice, I got some of the painter's tape on it. I'm gonna hit the frets with some steel wool. There's no dents in it. Really wasn't played much at all, and hit with steel wool. The reason the pickups and everything are covered is that, you remember that ugly, disgusting, filthy, dirty bridge. I cleaned that up before I did this, so I figured it'd be best to just keep it clean. Pickups, if you're using steel wool, will attract all those little hairs, and we don't want any hairs. So we're going to go ahead and use the steel wool. Now I'm going to use some silver cleaner and clean up the frets real nice. And then we'll oil the fingerboard and we'll throw some strings on it. So got the tape from Philadelphia Luthier's. Throw them a bone. Regular painter's tape will work up here, and so I'm just going to start scrubbing here. If you want to watch, it's not hard work. It's just tedious. You want to get all the finger smudge and junk out of there. You want to make it nice and smooth, so whenever you play it, the string bending will go nice and smooth. It'll just feel like it belongs. I can feel the first couple strokes I do with this steel wool. It is definitely causing some pushback, I guess you'd say. Some resistance, yeah, that's the word, against the steel wool. But then once I hit it a couple times, it's nice and smooth. But I will be hitting it with the silver cleaner as well, just to make it pop, just to make sure make it shine, make it glide even nicer. Get down here to these bottom frets that were never ever touched, never ever played, and there's a bit more buildup on there. There's a chip up on, well, you can't see it, but it's up on this side. It got dinged somewhere in the guy's closet. Somebody putting a vacuum away, forgetting there's a guitar in there. I'm not going to fill it. It's polyurethane. It's just it's a little bit too much work for me to swallow. I've got a bass over there waiting in the wings, and you need that pretty quick. So I hit it with some where did I put it? Just some wood finish, and just to get the stain, just to get the into the poly at least, and then I'm going to just hit it with some black, since it is either very, very, very dark brown or black around the edges. So as far as the using the steel wool polish, I'm going to use, this is part of a floor tile, padded, nice and rubbery, and folded over, it's kind of stiff. So kind of stiff. I got to get it in the movie here. Once I get this stuff on here with a rag, let you take a closer look at what it looks like now. Once I get that cleaned up, I'll come back and show you what we did after I get some strings on it. So I'll see you on the other side. Thanks again. Alright, we are tuned up to pitch. New string tree is on up here. Get you in the movie. There you go. Kind of see it there. Expert cameraman skills, right? So we're set up to pitch. Just hit it one more time because they're still stretching. Can't stretch the plain ones much because they're not wound, and if you stretch them too much, they're just going to break on you. So giving the neck a chance to settle in here. Since the strings were off it since last night, and everything's flat again. One more time. Everything's stretching. This is a really nice guitar for a Fender that's made in Mexico. The pick guard lines up with the bridge. I've had several through the shop that don't. None of the threads are stripped out. Earlier measurements on the nut were spot on. We're going to hit that again. We have got our, let's see here. Let's see where we're at. Want to be between 18 and 22. And get it the other side. It's a real, that's that 9.5 inch radius. Yep, this looks like a little low there. Let's see if the 18, if I recall, whenever I first set this up, I don't know what was on it. It just barely slides into there. So that should be okay. Feels right. I think we're I might take a little bit off of the low E. Let's do that, just a tad. Grab the right file. Just take a little bit off. And you always want to go straight. And you also want to go towards the where the string goes into the tuner, so that you have a rise point that's on the neck side of the nut, not on the tuner side of the nut. See how that works now. That's about right where I want it. Yep. Double check the tuning one more time. Now, granted, we're going to stick this, we're going to have to do the intonation, we're going to have to adjust the truss rod, because I think what was on there before were 9s. And you notice I leave all the strings hanging there, because you never know when that monster is going to come back and get you, where you're going to have not enough string wrapped and your strings are going to slip. You don't want that sort of thing. So let's check our relief at the let me find my let's see here, I think I got the 12th on here. Let's see here. Yes, we do have 1/12 1,000ths. So I'm going to take the capo, throw it on the first, and we're going to go to the 17th. We're going to hold that down there, and we're going to look for about 12 thousandths here. And it barely squeaks by. Let me stick it up in the playing position and see what it does there. That's perfect. I'm going to let it sit until tomorrow, and let the body and wood and neck and strings all sort of settle down, and then we'll do the intonation, clean it up, and we'll call it done. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Please subscribe. Stringman Guitars. Good morning. This is day 3 of not having enough time to work on the guitar, and I'm going to finish it up right now with doing the string height, the I'm going to check the relief, since it sat overnight after the adjustments, putting new strings on it and everything. So we're going to check the relief, then we're going to check the string height, and we're going to finish off by doing the intonation. Sorry for my cheap camera mount. It just moves hastily when I try to move it just a little bit. So one thing a lot of people, a lot of guitars that come to the shop here, the saddles, each one should be level. It's got 2 set screws, but I have seen so many come across the shop that, you know, one's hanging this way, one's hanging that way. They should be the same all the way across. This one is not. I'm going to just make a slight adjustment to this one. And it's always good advice to keep in mind how many turns that you turn when you straighten one of these saddles out. That way, once they're straight, and we have to adjust the string height. If I got to bring it up, if I got to make a half a turn on it, I make a half turn on both of them. Got to bring it down, I make, you know, whatever. Same amount of turn on each one of the set screws here. So with that, let's check our relief. Remember, we were looking for 12 thousandths. Put the capo on there, and somewhere around here, there it is. The go for 12 thousandths on feeler gauge, holding it down on where the body meets the guitar, the 17th fret, and we're looking to see if we have just barely squinches under there. Barely squinches under there. So we're going to look for, I want to go about 6/64 on the string height at the 12th fret here. So I've got my string action gauge. These can come in real handy. And since I'm nearsighted, I'll put on my set of magnifiers. Shut up, my wife thinks they're sexy. Anyhow, here we go. We're looking for between, well, not between, we're looking for 6/64, and we have it there. We don't have it there. We're going to bring the D string up just a hair. So remember, if I'm going to do a half turn on one set screw, I'm going to do a half turn on the other, thus keeping the saddle straight. And it still needs to come up some more. Have here, I like that, and we like that, and we like that, and that's a little low, and bring up the B, just a little bit. Once again, keeping in mind we want to have the saddles level. You know what, I just realized I had the capo on. Didn't really affect much. Everything is nice. So we're going to make sure okay, no string buzz, and it's nice and low. Nice and low. Now let's check our intonation. What we want to do is make sure that whenever we hit an open string, it's the same note all three times. So we put it in the playing position, bring it back into tune since we just messed with the saddle heights, string heights. A little sharp there. Always use a long, properly sized screwdriver, because you don't want to mar the body up. If the head is up here, the screwdriver, you don't want to knock the body. But if you get a long enough screwdriver, you don't have to worry about that. Okay, dead on. That's just a hair sharp. So what we're doing is lengthening the string if it's sharp. And still could go a little bit more. Almost there. helps if you have the screwdriver in the hole of the screw. Top tip. Bang on. Everything seems to be a bit sharp. When we adjusted this, or from when we first, basically we started from 0 because everything was out of whack. Now everything is in whack. Just a little bit more. Oh, that one's right on. That's just a hair. If you notice where the pickup selector is, I've got it here, I've got the volume up, and I've got the tone all rolled back. So that way I'm getting the best best possible representation, because this pickup is the one that's delivering the sound, so the strings are moving in the biggest arc at that point. We got it. And that, my friends, is a $5 Aria amp that I picked up for I think 50 cents at a yard sale. But it fits on the bench, it makes noise. Now the guitar makes noise. And there you have it. We have ourselves a fully set up Fender standard Stratocaster from Mexico.